It's time now for the Jock and the Doc, your Bay Area sports report on the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network. Here are your hosts, Glenn and Dave.
Lo and behold, we have found him. The Doc has returned. Dave was on assignment last week covering the Canadian Football League of all sports. Dave, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you were in Calgary, I believe, then you were up in, or you were back in Winnipeg for Edmonton. How was the CFL play this weekend?
Calgary.
And did something explode over there? Are you okay?
No, it's just the motorcycle gangs are circling my place, I think, and maybe I didn't pay my bill. Calgary. The Calgary Stampeders are a terrible football team. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are a great football team, taking over sole possession of first place in the Canadian Football League West Division with a triumphant win over the Edmonton Elks. Just a statement win. The Blue Bombers have now won 6 games in a row. They started 0-4, and now they sit atop the West Division. It's great.
Quite the comeback. You had a lot of fun. You're a big fan of the CFL. Big one last night. Excitement. Kansas City and Atlanta. What a thriller on Sunday. But let's look back at everybody's Bay Area team, the 49ers. They were in control. They were on their way to a victory. They were on the way to a second win. What the hell happened? The final score, 27-24, Rams. Final seconds of the game.
You know, San Francisco almost never chokes away big leagues, but it's exactly what happened. 49ers took a 21-7 halftime lead into the dressing room, and the best way to describe it is the wheels fell off the wagon. Like the 49ers defense got diced up by Matthew Stafford, of all people, which, you know, I've never been able to, you know, the guys won a Super Bowl, but I've never been able to shake that Detroit Lions stink off them, that's for sure. But the offense didn't get a first down at some points. It just, like I said, the wheels fell off the wagon with the 49ers.
Yeah, they were a casualty of all kinds of errors. You had a missed field goal. Purdy, not bad, 22 of 30. He was starting to get the feel with Brandon Ayuk. I thought the offensive line is really being hampered right now, but to blow the game the way they did. You know what the fans are like, Dave? Rabid fan base, boy, they don't take this lightly.
Well, 100%. But you know, we're going to talk about this a bit later. But how would you like to be a Dallas Cowboys fan? Found a fan base that's just going to be calling for McCarthy's head in mere moments, and Jerry Jones doesn't take that kind of shenanigans very, very lightly. Who'd have thought, like the way the Dallas Cowboys have just stunk up the joint this season so far. I mean, the Ravens are no slouches. You got to give them that. But Ravens, and you know, the Cowboys did put up a bit of a fight near the end, but you know, Dallas is just not clicking, and you know that Mike McCarthy's got to be on the hot seat there. The Ravens beat the Cowboys 28-25.
Carolina with a stunner, 36-22 over Vegas. I don't think Vegas is as good as, they've looked early in the year. Philadelphia, that was a big game. Did you see Philadelphia beat the New Orleans Saints 15-12? So New Orleans is coming back down to reality. They got off to a great start as well. Any other games that stood out to you on your Sunday, Bill?
Back to the Philly one. The Eagles, you know, they got embarrassed on Monday night, right? So by Atlanta. And Kirk Cousins, we talked about this last week, has really definitely turned the corner with the Atlanta Falcons. But Philadelphia, I mean, not like 15-12, not a great scoring game, high scoring game, but
win's a win.
A win is a win. And Philadelphia needs to take those the way they can and like shake off that stink of the Monday nighter.
Well, I was setting you up. Any other games, maybe offensive outbursts that stood out to you?
Well,
in that jersey you're wearing today?
There's a lot of people in our fan base that, were calling for my head and me to be canceled and drawn and quartered and all that after last week.
I know. I got the emails.
once in a while, you know, we have to wear the colors of the purple and gold, and the Minnesota Vikings in their beautiful retro jerseys just carved up the Houston Texans. Like this was a game that was just – Houston wasn't even in this game. 34-7 the final. like the defense of the Minnesota Vikings, the coach Brian Flores, he's put together just an unbelievable team. And Sam Darnold, nobody really gave this guy much of a chance. And the Minnesota Vikings took down another undefeated team and now stand undefeated, 3-0 on the season. And the Texans fall to 2-1.
What do you think of Sam Darnold? Yesterday, 17-28, four TD passes, my friend. You must be living high in the hog right now, enjoying life. A great start for your purple team, the purple. Purple people eaters.
Yeah, we've often said this, that the people in Minneapolis, St. Paul, running around naked on the streets. It's just unbelievable that the vibe right now in the Twin Cities. And I'm going to be down there in a couple of weeks when the Vikings take on the Lions. Vikings got a really wonky schedule. I mean, they're in Green Bay next week. I believe after that, they've got the one of those international games against the New York Jets, and they don't return back. I think the game is that third week of October against the Lions. So it's kind of a wonky schedule. They only have one home date, I think, in October, and then I think they got 3 in November coming up. But it's just time. I mean, the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau, that's just a hard game to win. It's a hard game. We'll see what they're really made of. But I tell you what, nobody gave. We'll just jump over to talk about Green Bay. Nobody gave these guys a chance. When your starting quarterback goes down, and they had the relief quarterback, basically the guy they traded for early, just before the season. And this guy joins an elite group of people. I'm just trying to call up the stats real quick.
Malik, he went 13-19. Willis did yesterday.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It's like they dig up these guys. First Packers quarterback since 2010 to throw for at least 200 yards, rush for at least 50 yards while scoring a rushing touchdown and a passing TD. So got to give credit to the Packers coaching staff for drawing up the game plan that utilized Malik Willis's skill set. That's for sure.
He rushed for 73 yards, I believe, in that game yesterday. So that leads me to this question: What kind of quarterback do you like? Do you like a pocket passer, somebody who stays in there and like a Brady, if you would, just stays in there, throws the ball, man, like the field general? Or do you like the guy like what we saw yesterday, Malik Willis? You got like a guy who's got legs. He's almost like having an extra threat as a running back.
Yeah, I go back to being the big fan of the Canadian Football League. I love the Matt Dunnigans of the world, the guys that aren't afraid to mix it up a little bit. And Patrick Mahomes is a guy to me that is like that. That if he can't find his guy, he's just like, I don't even think he's putting his head down. He's just giving her, and not afraid to take a poke. And he gets up there. He reminds me of a kid just still in maybe the first year of college starting, right? Just giving her, right? Like that. That's the kind of quarterback, the versatile. Sam Darnold, he was able to avoid a couple of look like certain doom a few times yesterday in that win over the Texans. So, I was never crazy about the style of Kirk Cousins. Like Kirk Cousins to me he's got a body type like he's your accountant. He got the job done. He put up such incredible stats and his, passer ratings, leading the league, but never was able to put the Minnesota Vikings in a position to go anywhere in the playoffs. So I like what he's doing in Atlanta, but to me, I just don't know if he's always got that skill set just to get the job done, to do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Well, I think you're jumping on the old Darnold bandwagon.
I like him.
Oh, I bet you do. Other games yesterday, the Giants winner, Indianapolis pick up their victory over Chicago. Steelers doubled the Chargers 20-10. Denver, no trouble with Tampa. And Seattle, same thing. They beat up on Miami. One other game, Detroit.
Well, back up to the Bears game. Like Caleb Williams, he continues to struggle, although he threw for I can't remember something, 363 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He had three turnovers
twice.
Yeah. Like that is including 2 in the second half. Like it was crazy. Like the Bears also failed to score any points on a drive that ended with Chicago getting stopped on 3 straight plays inside of Indy's 2-yard line. So It's it's that guy's not. I mean, everybody. That was another town. Everybody was running around naked and dancing in the streets after week one, but they're coming back to reality.
There'll be fans that are harping and complaining about the Niners and their start 1-2. But what is it like to be a fan of a club like that? Spinning your wheel. The Bears since the 80s. Remember the Fridge?
Yep.
Remember
85.
McMahon? Remember the big old days and the days they were playing I can remember being a youngster, staying up late on a Sunday night to watch the Bears and the New England Patriots Super Bowl. But those are days of lore now because the Bears, they just can't put anything together. Even with how many quarterbacks do they got to draft?
Oh my goodness! But look at the success Fields is having in Pittsburgh. So it's not the quarterback. It's not the guy. There's something wrong. There's something a little bit deeper in the Chicago Bears. That's just something's not clicking.
Yep. Detroit 20, Arizona 13. The other game, and as we mentioned, a good one last night. So I think no need to panic. They're going to bounce back next week. The old 49ers, faithful. Be just that, faithful. We got a game against the New England Patriots. I don't think that's a setup game, Dave.
No, it's not like it's not when like
home field
Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady and the New England Patriots anymore. So you can easily right the ship next week in San Francisco. You can easily turn things around. In my humble opinion.
Hey, what's going on? I always wait for the first weekend of the NFL season because every year as long as I can remember, Dave, probably 10, 15 years, you had a twin bill on a Monday night. You'd have two games. Well, here we are, week 3. We got a pair tonight, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Washington, Cincinnati. Any idea what the schedule makers have done?
The strangest thing, too, because the
start Friday night game. We had a Friday night game, Dave, in week 1. That was bizarre.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say, the start times are wonky. 4:30, it's Jacksonville and Buffalo Bills for you San Francisco, all you West Coast folks. And then at 5:15, it's Washington and Cincinnati. So I'm not familiar with the television situation isn't like that. Is there going to be some streaming? But I know there's going to be ESPN and ABC both involved. But that is just like, I get it. If one game was 4:30 and the next game was 7:30, like you could play, have that 4:30 game on the East, and then you could have the West Coast game start at 7:30, and then you could draw a good audience. But why are they scheduled on top of each other within a 45-minute difference in the start times? I'll never know.
Poor marketing. So those are the two Monday nighters. Jacksonville, Buffalo should be a blowout. Bills and Washington, Cincinnati. That's got a little intrigue to it. I wouldn't.
Well, look, surprise of everyone. The Bengals are 0-2. Like that's a surprise. Everybody was touting them a little bit, and the Commanders, they're when you always talk about Washington, whether it been Washington in the past or Washington now, they're a 500 football team. So 1-1 is not a surprise to anybody because they're going to finish up 500 or maybe less than 500. Right. Where the people were predicting the Bengals some great things for them this year.
You touched on it. Remember a week ago this morning, you said they got to get a little leadership out of Joe Burrow. He was throwing the helmet around. And a true quarterback, a leader, has got to do that. Lead. You're down late in the game, final minute. You got to be poised. He didn't have that last week at all.
Yeah. Go back to my Patrick Mahomes example. Can you think of a better leader than Patrick Mahomes? How he leads the Kansas City Chiefs? Like even in defeat, when the Chiefs drop a game, it's the guy stands up. He's accountable at the end of it. That's a team that plays right to the 60-minute mark in the game.
Yeah. All right, that's the NFL for a Monday morning. Again, oh boy, if you saw it, it was ugly. Rams come back, score 13 in the fourth quarter. They beat the 49ers 27-24. Going to be a lot of talk about that game and the play of maybe the offensive line during the week. All right, over to Major League Baseball. Now, I don't know, buddy. Team that'll shoot you in the heart. San Francisco Giants. They beat Kansas City 2-0. Great pitching from Blake Snell once again. Struck out 9. they sweep Kansas City, and they took 2 out of 3 from Baltimore after being eliminated. Does a team play up to its competition or down to its competition, or are they a little loosey-goosey now that their the postseason aspirations have been clobbered to death? What do you think about this whole situation? Their winning ways, 5-1 on the road trip thus far, headed to Arizona.
Yeah, I'm not. I know that Kansas City sits third in the American League Central, but I don't. I'm pretty sure they're not on the cusp of a wild card. So this is almost like Grapefruit League baseball in my mind. That there's just two teams going out there and they got the X's on their own calendars in their locker room, and they got the date circled where the last game is, and they got the flights booked to go back to wherever they're going. Like, it's just,
Dave, I don't want to correct you on the air live, but I have to. In the wild card race, Baltimore is holding down first spot. Detroit and Kansas City are tied. And then you've got Minnesota a game behind. So you've got Baltimore, Detroit, Kansas City, Minnesota. Well, actually, Detroit, Kansas City, Minnesota. 2 of those teams are going to make it. One's not right now. Minnesota's a game out looking in.
Yeah,
Kansas City has everything to play for.
I have the faith in the Minnesota Twins capturing that second spot.
All right, you heard it here first. Over in the National League wild card, Arizona and the Mets, they're in a race. Atlanta, they're slowly falling out. But yesterday, as mentioned, the game was played in Kansas City, and you had the Giants with a 2-0 victory. Good game for the Giants, actually, as they continue to wind down the season. They're headed to Arizona, and then they'll close the season at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. Going to be fan appreciation weekend next weekend over at Oracle Park. I don't think are you an NBA fan, Dave?
I'm an NBA fan in June when it's time when it's the playoffs, because I obviously I follow it a little bit, and being bombarded right, kind of sitting where I sit, I get a lot of Minnesota Timberwolves and a lot of Toronto Raptors information. And then also we do tend to hear a lot about the Milwaukee Bucks, and then everybody also always hears about the Los Angeles Lakers. But no, I can't say that. Like I said, I'm into it when it's June, pretty much when the Stanley Cup playoffs are done.
Yeah, the motorcycles go by at the start of the show. You caught in the crossfire or something there? I thought I heard.
Yeah. Excuse me. No. It's almost like a race night on Sunday nights around here.
Oh, good grief! All right. Well, the WNBA playoffs started yesterday. New York. What was New York's record? Let me look. New York had an incredible 32-8, and they. I think they're going all the way. They beat Atlanta 83-69, Connecticut 93, Indiana 69, blowout. Caitlin Clark's team was just humiliated. Minnesota down at the Target Center. They beat Phoenix 102-95. The games will continue on Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, we mentioned the Monday night games in the National Football League. You want to put on your amazing Kreskin hat, Dave? Do you want to take a look at the 2 games before we close out the show this morning? Jacksonville, Buffalo. I think it's going to be ugly.
Oh, 100%. This will be if the Bills don't win by 21, there's something wrong.
All right. Washington, Cincinnati. I don't know where I want to put my finger on this one. Cincinnati is actually favored by 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like that. I might take the points there.
Like you said, the Commanders are a 1-1 team.
Which means you said they're a 500 team, David.
Yeah,
you said they're a 500 team. You know what happens with 500 teams?
Yeah,
they win when they shouldn't, and they lose when they shouldn't. So you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and the Bengals are under the hot seat. This would be the worst start for the Bengals since they dropped their first 11 games back in 2019. So they could go 0-3. So the pressure's on them. They're flat in week 1, losing to the Patriots, and of course, they kind of hung with the Kansas City Chiefs. But the field goal kicked them in the last second. They hung tough. So I don't know what you do there. Like, do you did you throw everything against the wall and you didn't come out on top? Do you say, boy, we were close? Or do you fold a little bit? You go, what more could we have done? And I don't know. It's one of those strange things. We'll see what happens. Zach Taylor gave his guys a lot of praise during the week leading up to tonight's game, but I don't know if that's enough.
All right. Last night, Grigory Romanov and Mackenzie Blackwood both got playing time. Vegas and San Jose in their first exhibition game, respectively. I'm not too worried about the Sharks preseason. We'll pass along scores here and there, but season doesn't start till October the 4th. We'll worry about that as the season.
The Utah Hockey Club got to win preseason game. I think the game was played in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know why. Home of the Iowa Wild, and they came up 5-3 winners of the St. Louis Blues. So, there's a lot of people. 5-3
yesterday's game over St. Louis, but don't write it. The team might only win the one game during the regular season, Dave. This is not a good team.
It's not your traditional, like Utah. It's not an expansion team. I mean, there was a nucleus. The nucleus of guys come from the Phoenix Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes, rather. And we'll see. There's some coaching changes. There's some shakeup. There's a new attitude. There's ownership. We might see something out of these guys. I'm not, thinking they're going to be playing into May and June rather. But it's going to be interesting to see. And I know a lot of people are losing it. They don't have a name, but who cares? The Women's Professional Hockey League and the new Women's nobody had a team name for the first year. So
Boston, Toronto,
Montreal, Ottawa, Minnesota.
You're a Winnipeg Jet fan. I just want to mention the Jets. I believe they're 0-2 in the preseason. Not worried about that?
Yes. No, not really. I mean, Saturday's game, the loss to the Minnesota Wild, there's barely anybody names I recognized on the stat sheet. A little bit better effort last night at Edmonton, 3-2 overtime loss to the Oilers. There's never. Here's the thing about preseason in NFL, CFL, Major League Baseball, Grapefruit League, National Hockey League, NBA. If you lose all your games in the preseason doesn't matter. But if you win all your games in the preseason, you better be planning the parade.
Yeah. Well, as you stated, you're going to get preseason, a heap and helping of guys you don't know, guys bagging groceries in 2 weeks, guys in guys who are playing for the Sharks right now. And people are like, oh, he had a great game. I go, I guarantee you, he scores a hat trick. Doesn't matter. Next week, he's playing in Wichita in the East Coast League. So he'll be gone. You won't see him for a few years, if at all ever. And last night, prime example, you got to see Eric Comrie in nets. You know who the number one man will be opening night, and a guy who logs a lot of ice time, and that's Connor Hellebuck. All right, hockey season starts October 4th. I'm not too geared up for the preseason, but I do love hockey, and I'm looking forward to the 24-25 season. Looking forward to Giants baseball tonight, even though we have been eliminated. The Giants are on the road to open up their final road trip of the season. They'll take on Arizona, and Hayden Birdsong gets the nod once again. I believe he pitched last Monday as well. Birdsong, he's 4-5, 4.74 ERA. And Eduardo Rodriguez sports a 3-3 note. Monday Night Football, pair of games as mentioned. We'll talk about those tomorrow, the Giants game and more. We wrap it up. And I just want to apologize. I made a mistake on the show today, so it was a busy weekend. This isn't Carter's Corner. Look, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Who's Carter?
Carter filled in for you on Thursday and again on Friday. So I forgot to bring it back.
I go on assignment. I take a couple of days off, and then you rename the show.
I rebranded the show on you, buddy. I'm sorry. You want me? You know what? We'll get this ready. How about for tomorrow? We'll do this: the Jock and the Doc, a Northern Lights Entertainment production. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, Dave.
Have a great day.
Good day. Yeah, you too. And guys and gals out there, enjoy your football tonight. If you want to catch some Giants, we'll talk about it tomorrow on the show. Jock and the Doc, I'm Glenn, and he's Dave. Dave, have a great day.
You as well.
You've been watching the Northern California Sports and Entertainment Network, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting station.